We do want to welcome you to the Habitat Hope Builders Luncheon. Thank you so much for being here. The last couple of years have been online, so not as fun. It is nice to see everyone's face. Forgot what some of you look like. You look better on Zoom. Some of you. Just kidding. Just kidding, Jacob. Is Latrice here? Yes. Latrice is going to sing our national anthem. She's the managing broker, Williams Homegirl Sales, One Good Cliffs, and Habitat board member. Please, everyone, rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare heaven bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sing does that star-spangled banner wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jerrall Haynes. I'm a board member for Habitat-Spokane. I'm also an anchor at KXLY. I just want to get you real quick information. We have a special show today at 4 o'clock because of the NFL draft. My boss is over here. Duty done. I'm also going to be serving as your MC today. We're going to walk you through the impact Habitat and its supporters have established over the years and the impact that all of you in this room have had today. I know, like I said before, we haven't done this in person in 2 years, and I was really pushing for a Bloody Mary bar, maybe some mimosas, to kind of ease back into things. But if you want a glass of wine, there's a bar in the back. I saw you guys looking. It's like it's just barely new, you luscious. You just outed yourselves. We're trying that for next year. Stay with us. To kick this off, it's my pleasure to introduce future Habitat homeowner, Israel Aaron. He's going to lead us in a prayer. Israel, are you here? Here he comes.
My name is Israel Aaron. Please let us bow our heads and give thanks for the opportunity to further the work of Habitat for Humanity. Dear Father, thank you for this event. Here we have gathered today because of the grace you have given us through your Son Jesus Christ, our hope. We desire to seek to put your love into action, to advocate for affordable housing, and no more than just building homes. As you are our shelter in a time of storm, to building houses, we are building communities of every tribe, nation, and tongue. And by building communities, we're building hope for those who desire to live with dignity as they journey through this world. We seek to put our hands and feet to work, our hearts and minds to labor in this form of outreach of love in order to transform lives, showing our neighbors the grace that you have bestowed upon us by giving us a house, by building it into a home, by opening your house, heaven, to the east. I pray, Father, that you build hope in our hearts at this time, that we may experience the thrill of giving hope to a family seeking to live in peace in a time of turmoil and war. For this we ask in the name of your Son, our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Israel. And now please join me in welcoming Michelle Gerardo, Habitat for Humanity Spokane CEO.
I'm so happy and excited that we are back. Woo! Well, thank you all for joining us as we celebrate Habitat for Humanity Spokane's annual Hope Builders Luncheon. My name is Michelle Gerardo, and I serve as the CEO of your Habitat for Humanity affiliate. In the next hour, we aim to raise your awareness, your hope, confidence, your hearts, and finally, your hands, which is why we are here. We can't do this alone, and this is powerful work. Every single one of you in this room today has served as a beacon of hope for families seeking strength and stability through affordable homeownership. And these last few years have been incredibly challenging. But your steadfast commitment has opened more doors than ever before in Habitat history. Through new construction, zombie home rehabs, and through all of it, we've had a delinquency rate of less than 1%. As we look to the future, nearly 230 families are on our waiting list working towards their partnership requirements. Hope is what we are all building today, and it is what will shepherd families to close whatever door on whatever hardships they may have experienced and have an opportunity to step into a new life. And that is because of all of you. Thank you so much for all of your support today, and I hope that you enjoy this hour.
Thank you, Michelle. A lot of familiar faces in the room, a lot of new people here as well. We want to thank everyone for joining us. I was told earlier that we're expecting around 250, and now I think we're at 280 people, and that's not including everyone who's joining us online today. It's wonderful to be together again, like I said earlier. I hosted this event from my living room. One year we had it over a couple of days. I shot that in a single day. I'm sorry. I changed my outfits to make it look like different days. That's my confession. Habitat has completed more than 370 homes. 370 homes for qualified partner families who met 3 criteria. Number 1, need. They must be living in substandard housing or paying more than 30% of their income towards housing. Can you imagine that? 30%. Ability to pay is number 2. They earn below 80% of the area median income and can pay an affordable mortgage of over a 20 to 30 mortgage term. And then willingness to partner. They contribute to 100 hours of sweat equity through homebuyer readiness courses and build their home and their neighbors' homes alongside community members like all of you today. Your support will help to build a decent place to live and provide an affordable mortgage. It also creates a situation where homeowners can save more, invest in education, pursue opportunities, and have more financial stability, which opens so many doors. I welcome you all here today to stand with Habitat and make affordable home ownership a reality for many families waiting for that opportunity. And we know there are many families who are waiting. Thank you. Providing a path to housing and stability is not an easy task. I want to thank our table hosts. It's not an easy task either. Can you guys stand? I just want to recognize you real quick, all the table hosts out there. Good job, you guys. I also want to recognize the leaders of this organization, my fellow members of the Habitat Board of Directors. Would you please stand as well? And let's hear from our presenting sponsor, Banner Bank. Banner Bank and Habitat has sponsored for more than 20 years and is currently one of Habitat's preferred lending partners. Let's also thank our other sponsors, Avista, Integris Architecture, Lauren Graham, Mountain West Bank, Spokane Hardware Supply, and the Inlander. You all have hearts for this community, and we just want to thank you for that. Now I just want to ask if Celestine and Luke will please join me on stage real quick. We'd like to recognize some partners that have a long history of selflessness and dedication to building hope. To accomplish these goals, Habitat relies on significant community partnerships, which support or provide upfront building costs or labor. A true partner in collaboration, Greenstone Homes has elevated Habitat-Spokane's home building numbers to serve its growing list of partner families. An effort to build more affordable homes for families living in the Fairchild Accident Potential Zone, Greenstone provided the expertise and leveraging power to keep Habitat building during the pandemic. As you all know, Habitat relies on volunteer power. A lot of hands make for short work, which came to a halt during the shutdown. Our list of families in need for safe, decent, and affordable homes, that list did not stop growing. Greenstone has been an effective leader and convener in advocating for Habitat families and affordable home ownership. This year, the first phase of Highland Village was completed and 14 Habitat partner families purchased beautiful, affordable, and energy-efficient homes. And we are happy to say the second phase is underway. Please join me in thanking Greenstone for their incredible support. They have been instrumental in supporting Habitat's efforts to build communities of opportunity through acquisition, rehab, and Spokane neighborhoods. Taking old homes, fixing them up. Habitat believes in a world where everyone deserves a chance for a better future, regardless of who they are or where they come from. Inspired by Martin Luther King's work and vision, the beloved community is a tangible expression of our collective pursuit of justice, opportunity, and equality. The Beloved Community Initiative is a national partnership that calls on the spirit of Dr. King, who said it best: our goal is to create a beloved community, and this will require a qualitative change in our souls as well as a quantitative change in our lives. A Better Way LLC has been a catalyst in highlighting the power to create positive change in our souls and communities. JJ, Chauncey, here. JJ's working. It's his work. Happy birthday, JJ. just keeps getting harder and harder to find affordable homes. I think many of you know that very well. That goes for both builders like Habitat for future homeowners trying to work through the complications of buying a home. Yasmine Kourma, the translator and a volunteer, has helped countless Habitat families over the last few years as an advocate and in many ways a coach for partner families. All you have to do is meet her once and you'll see her compassion and her empathy. It is possible not to be inspired when you witness. It's impossible not to be inspired when you witness the good that can come from seeing lives change forever because of affordable home ownership under the Habitat model. And Yasmine has lent a hand in changing so many. The Volunteer of the Year Award is granted to an individual who has a servant's heart and dedication to Habitat for Humanity that is truly unmatched. She is truly an inspiration. Please join me in thanking her. CRH America's Materials has stood alongside Habitat families during the pandemic. It's provided strategic initiatives in building science, materials, and of course funding. This year, CHS committed to 2 new construction homes in East Central utilizing concrete forms that will result in a faster construction schedule for 2 qualified home buyer families. Please join me in thanking CRH Materials for their commitment and innovation to Habitat. But he has one this year. Thank you everyone for your partnership. Jerrall, let's get you up here. I think we're all excited to hear from Jerrall Haynes. Many of you have heard he's not only the City of Spokane's first appointed Civil Rights Coordinator, but he's proof that being raised in a Habitat home has so many benefits. He helped his mom build their affordable Habitat home together in South Carolina. And I can't wait to hear about his experience and what growing in a Habitat home meant for him. Please welcome Jerrall to the stage.
Man, there's way more people here than I expected. So forgive me, I gotta get my bearings. I was both excited and nervous. Lydia first reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to deliver the keynote speech today. And so the first thing I did was I called my mom, my mother's boy. And she was even more excited than I was. So, and that's when I knew I was in trouble and I wouldn't be able to get out of actually. And she's actually at work now watching. Hey, Mom. And then the next person I called was my older brother. And his response to me was, why did he call you? It's not supposed to be you, it's supposed to be me. They're supposed to call me, right? He was older when we built our home, so he put in a few more hours than I did. And so he was a little jealous of this opportunity. I promised to give him Lydia and Michelle's phone number so he could call them. And then I started to think to myself, and I realized that my brother wasn't necessarily wrong. I'm not supposed to be here, right? That it's highly unlikely that my story led me to the stage today. I remember even being in the 7th grade, having a 7th grade teacher look me in the eyes and tell me that I was probably going to be another statistic, right? So, but to understand that, you have to understand a little bit more about where I come from. And I was born in Charleston, South Carolina, raised in a beautiful flower town of Somerville, South 4 children. My mom left my father when I was 3 years old when she found out he was using drugs. And so she decided to embark on the challenging journey of raising her 4 children on her own. And even though it was tough, I thank God for her strength every single day. Because of those difficulties, my mom worked 12 hours a day, every day. And we still couldn't get ahead. So, we lived in substandard apartments in crime-riddled neighborhoods with drug transactions happening around every corner. The hood, right? Johnson. And it was tough. And we even experienced a little bout of homelessness. And then we eventually ended up moving in with our grandparents and shared 2 beds between the 5 of us for quite some time. And I'll never forget the joy and excitement on my mom's face when she got off the phone with Habitat, learning that we had been accepted into their program. And the requirements, you heard some of them earlier, the requirements at that time in South Carolina was you had to do a minimum of 20 hours in other people's homes before you were blessed with the opportunity to spend 250 sweat equity hours on your own. And being the hard charges that my family are, we did more. And my mom made sure that we helped build the homes for 3 other families just like ours before going ahead with the journey of building our own home. And we were able to get so many people out to help volunteer from our church, our teens, our coaches, our pastors, our cousins, our aunties, our uncles, our grandparents, that they actually had to change the way they calculated the hours for sweat equity because we would have finished the first weekend. Because the way that they tracked them at that time was, Lars, if you came out with me on a Saturday and we both did 8 hours, they credited us with 16 hours. They had to change that after the first weekend. We were at like 270 or something like that because so many people came to know. And the journey of building our own home proved to be a little difficult. We had to re-pour our foundation 3 different times. And then when we thought we got to the finish line, our home flooded the day before we were supposed to close the first time. So we actually missed our first Christmas in our brand new home. But like we do, we persevered and we fought through it together as a community and a family. And so when we got our keys, I never forget my mom looked at us and said, "This is ours. We now have our own slice of the pie." And that gets us one step closer to freedom. So my childhood home is still the place that I call home. Sorry, Spokane, no offense at all, but that will always be my home. And it quickly became our community's home. Because after we finished building our home, we continued partnering with Habitat. And by the time we finished our home, my family, the 5 of us, had over 450 hours of sweat equity into our home. But again, my mom's an overachiever, so she made sure we kept building homes for other families in our community that were just like us. And I can't even remember how many we ended up having at the end of the day, but we were literally building community and neighborhoods at the same time. And so our home ended up being a lot broader than just our home. It ended up being community's home. I had cousins and friends that would just show up and see what was in the fridge to eat. It was a place that people could come to for solitude and celebrations. And even a cousin of mine actually had a key to our house, and his dad hated that idea when he found out about it. But he would come to our home and lunch in high school and nap and stuff. So it was what it was. And then so fast forward, I'm leaving college and I'm looking for something to do, and I decided to join the military like so many people in my family had done before. And I chose the United States Air Force because one of their core values is service before self. And that's something. And that's something that I saw my mom do every single day. I saw her put her kids first, her community first, and her family first, and sacrifice things that she didn't even have at the time. And so I joined the Air Force, and that's how I ended up here in Spokane. I didn't know what Spokane was until then. Actually, when I was getting station near Seattle at first, but I was wrong. But I ended up falling in love with Spokane. So a few years after that, I made the crazy journey into running for school board while I was still full-time active duty Air Force. I guess a 20-year incumbent at the age of 25. What was I thinking? And the reality is, I knew what I was thinking. I wanted to build an education system that was truly fair for all children, so that children that grew up like me didn't have to go through the things that I experienced in my own school system. A second grade teacher told me that when I was getting straight A's. Could you imagine what she was telling the students that failed? So I did that, and I like to believe that we made a lot of progress in our school district. And we hired a lot of great people, and diversified our workforce, and so many other things. We were experiencing all-time high graduation rates year after year after year. And I'm so proud of my time at Spokane Public Schools. But it was time for me to move on. And with the help of our city council, Councilwoman Wilkerson, and our administration over in the city, they realized that today is probably more important than ever for us to have civil rights lead some of these conversations in our community. Yeah. They made the bold, brave decision to hire me as our city's first ever civil rights coordinator in charge of building out our city's first ever office of civil rights, equity, and inclusion. And for me, and so for me and to me, it could have come at a better time while so many of our marginalized community members are getting further and further away and realizing the American dream of home ownership. And that's why I'm so excited and proud to be able to partner with organizations like Habitat and so many other community members here that I'm hoping we can all partner with that today to actually make that faraway dream more of a reality for so many people in our community. It's gonna take a lot of work. It's gonna take a lot of conversations that we need to have. And I would like to have one of those conversations starting here today. There's a story that my grandmother and my childhood pastor, Reverend James C. Lane, told me on two different occasions in my life. Reverend Lane told me when I was a young man, I had no idea what the story meant. And my grandmother told me after I won my election to school board. It was the parable of the Good Samaritan. And Jesus is described as telling the story of a Jewish man walking down a narrow road when he's ambushed, beaten, stripped of his clothes, and left on the side of the road for dead. Next, a Jewish preacher and a Levite walk by the man and ignore his presence. Then a Samaritan comes by and happens upon the man on the side of the road. And at this point in time, Jews and Samaritans didn't like each other. So it was a surprise when the Samaritan stopped and helped the man anyway. He healed the man, he washed him up, gave him a place to stay, fed him, and nursed him back to health. And Jesus is described as telling this story in response to a question that a lawyer asked him in reference to the second commandment. The lawyer asked Jesus, "Who was my neighbor?" Jesus tells this story to let us know that in this situation, the neighbor is the Good Samaritan who stopped and showed mercy and grace for his fellow injured man. I didn't understand it when Reverend Lane told me this story because I was too young. But I started to realize some things when my grandmother told it to me at the age of 25. I realized that this meant that our destiny as a community is tied up with each and every one of us, particularly those that are left on the side of the road. That road actually turns out had a nickname. It was called the Bloody Pass. It was structured for violence. It was narrow, it had a lot of curves and turns in it, so when it got dark, it was easy and conducive for ambush. So many community members that walked past that man walked past him because it wasn't a surprise that he was left on the side of the road for death. That road was actually structured for that to happen. It was supposed to happen. So now, this is 6.5 years later after hearing the story from my grandmother, I now understand that to mean that it's our institutions, it's our policies, it's our society, and it's our cultures that create outcomes that advantage some and disadvantage others. That means that in Washington, in Spokane, in our society, we're doing this and we're creating the same outcomes that we complain about every single day. Right? And with us knowing that, that means we shouldn't be surprised when we hear about children in poverty not doing well in schools. We shouldn't be surprised when we hear about the wealth disparities and wealth gaps and home ownership gaps between races and ethnicities. We shouldn't be surprised when we hear about pay disparities between genders. We shouldn't even really be surprised when we hear about a second grade teacher telling a big-headed, skinny boy that he's going to be a statistic. And we definitely shouldn't be surprised when we hear about a single black woman in the state of South Carolina raising 4 children, working 12-hour days and nights every single day, and still can't get ahead. We shouldn't be surprised because that is historically what society has been structured to do, and it's working accordingly. So I want to leave you with this. I want us to imagine a community that's better. I want us to imagine a better Spokane, a Spokane that welcomes little black boys and girls, women and men, and other marginalized community members with open arms, and greets them with the same compassion and grace that we do with our loved ones every single day. Could you imagine how much better we would be? How much better our community would be? I want us to now imagine a community where every resident, regardless of race, gender, ethnicity, is climbing the rung, and every rung of the social and economic ladder. And they feel safe enough to show up in our community as their full, authentic, unassimilated selves every day, because they know that their diversity is not only valued and respected, but is wanted. And then our community takes the time to listen and understand them enough to where it alters the way that we think, the things that we do, and the things that we say, not only at work, not only in our communities, but perhaps most importantly, in our own homes. To me, that's the power of community coming together to solve these historic issues. To me, it means, and this is what happens when we stop just praying about change, but we actually start walking to make it happen. That's the power of community. That's the power of knowing your neighbors. And so I ask you, who is your neighbor? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jerrall. It's now my pleasure to share with you a beautiful story. Habitat-Spokane homeowner, Hawa Nasir. You may have seen her on the news, dancing, and she's happy. That sticks with me. She's a strong mother figure in the community and wanted to share her joy and light with you today.
I've known Hawa since 2017. If I'm going to describe her, she is a sweet, loving, thoughtful, very strong woman.
Hawa was born in the Darfur region of Sudan. Her and her son, Farah, and her mother, their whole family were opened by the conflict and genocide there, and moved around through Libya and through Egypt, and they ended up being resettled by overlay here in Spokane, Washington. Just
She is a mother, she's a grandmother, and I feel like she is like that for her family and for everybody else around her too, whether friends, neighbors, co-workers, even throughout the program, people that she connected with, she's been that and definitely more.
Such a beautiful story. At Habitat, these stories, these people, are what makes what we do so meaningful. These families we serve, they're our families. Through whatever hardships they face, we want to continue to help them build hope. And we're doing that today. You guys are doing that today. Now another future homeowner is going to share his personal journey with you. Please give a warm welcome to Ahmed John Pearson.
Hello, and thank you for being here today. My name is Ahmed. My wife Arizo joins me on this beautiful day. We have 3 children, Hashem, Hejran, Ayat. Hashem is 9 years old, and Hejran is 6 years old. Ayat is 4 years old. We have been in Habitat program for about a year and a half. So after today, we will fully complete our 250 hours of sweat equity. Soon, I hope my family will be proud to be owners of the affordable home here in Spokane. We never dreamed we would be able to afford a home in the United States. 7 years ago, we knew we needed to get out of our current situation in Kourma, Afghanistan. I worked for the U.S. Army for 10 years in Camp Phoenix Task Forces Operation Enduring Freedom. While I was there, and we owned a home in Afghanistan, but it was too much danger. We knew we don't want to raise our family there. We wanted a safer place for our children to grow up. My mom also wanted us a safer place to live. The opportunity arise and we come to the U.S., so after a long journey, we came here in 2015, and actually a year and a half ago, we both passed our citizenship test. And are officially citizens of the United States of America. And now I'm working on joining the National Guard. Since we arrived in the US, it has been very difficult for us to not own a home like back in Afghanistan. Rent is expensive and constantly raising. Our 2-bedroom apartment is on the 2nd floor of complex we live in. It's challenging with 3 children, such a small space. No tumbling is allowed or we will get in trouble with our neighbors. And there aren't a lot of opportunity for them to be a kids in their own home. Now, actually I forgot about, so now we have a baby on the way. Both my wife and I working full-time and part-time job. But even with our combined income, to finding a home and we can afford seems impossible. Our community of friends in Spokane told us about Habitat. At first, we hesitated. The ownership program has been such a blessing. We learned so much through to Habitat, financial courses, figuring out how to build our credits and everything else that is involved to own a home in the US. My family are still in Afghanistan. And I worry about them during this time, but they are okay now. I told them all about their Habitat. Soon we will own a home in the US through the Habitat, and they are so happy for us. We truly cannot believe that we will have a home to call our own. I believe that when you have a home, you have everything. We will have a place for our children, can safely play, study, rough house, and be a kid. Our grown family will be a neighborhood that welcoming and thriving. I'm just so grateful to all of you that are sitting here today, to every donor, every volunteer, every sponsor. My wife and I could not express our gratitude for generosity in it. Thank you for letting me share my story. When I think back what our lives were 7 years ago and what the future holds for us in affordable Habitat home, I'm so hopeful. And thank you so much.
I'd like to ask Bill Lenz to come up here, please. He's a board member for Habitat-Spokane.
pandemic. It's been a rough few years. Hi everyone, I'm Bill Lenz. It is a pleasure to look out over this group of people today, and again, just want to reiterate our profound thanks for you to be here and to support this organization, what we're doing in this town. I first got involved with Habitat when a mentor of mine, former boss Mike Loft, who was rolling off the board, asked me to serve. At the time, I of course was aware of Habitat, but I knew almost nothing in terms of the impact it has on people's lives. But, you know, as a young associate, when a partner asks you to do something, you jump. And so I did. And I am so thankful that I did. Serving on the board has opened my eyes to the struggle that many in our community have every day and they face when they're trying to find affordable housing. Over the years, I've been personally challenged to do more about it. And I've been continuously humbled by the effort of Michelle and her team on the Habitat staff and the work they do every day to make sure affordable home ownership is a reality. Michelle and her team can do what they do just about anywhere. But they have freely chosen to dedicate their service to the mission of bettering our community and creating small slices of heaven for folks in need of a hand up. As this team faces greater and greater uncertainty as a result of inflation and market forces beyond anyone's control, it is our turn as a community to step up and send a clear message about something we can control. That message is, we have your back. This community believes in what you are doing. You can be certain during these uncertain times in the generosity of Spokane. This is why I make no apology when I ask us all to give generously today, more than we thought to give or maybe have given previously. Can we be bold and act with courage and share our gifts with someone who is waiting and working hard for their opportunity to reach their greatest potential? Someone who is searching for decent, efficient, and affordable housing that can provide the foundation they need to succeed? I'm asking you to embrace Habitat as a significant partner in your giving this year, to invest in our neighbors' sons and daughters so that they too might be able to pay it forward for a hardworking family in need. Let's be a cause of donation and vision. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to make your commitment either online or on the donation card at the table. In the bold print, partway down, you can see a Hope Builder I Give statement where there's an option to check monthly donor, one-time donor, or pledge gift. And then on the back, of course, information about yourself. I ask you to think prayerfully and thoughtfully about this and consider supporting an organization and partnering with this organization that has 35 plus years of bringing success and lighting the fire of hope, empowerment, and transformation for this community. Now please take a moment to fill out the pledge card or scan the QR code to donate. Thank you so much for your time. This concludes our time today for our Habitat for Humanity Spokane's Hope Builders Luncheon. I hope you will continue with this momentum and help light a fire of hope for others. Thank you for sharing your treasure and for making a tangible investment in the lives of Habitat families. Thank you.
Decent shelter is something we all need to thrive. When a future homeowner partners with Habitat for Humanity to build or improve a home, they build a better future for themselves and their families. Your support helps another family in your community or around the world achieve strength, stability, self-reliance. With a little help, we all have the potential to stand on our own. Potential. Through shelter, we